Hello everybody and welcome back to a new video. My name is Evelyn Barta and I am back today with a new channel message from the Galactic Federation of Light that I received the last night before going to sleep. I always channel these multidimensionals before going to sleep because that is the time for me where I feel like I can relax the most. But before getting into today's message and what I want to talk about in today's video, I would like to say a huge thank you to all of you that are supporting my channel. All the beautiful messages, all the beautiful comments that I receive, all of them are so appreciated. Honestly, when I started this channel back in December, almost 1 year ago, I don't think that I'm going to get here, that I will be channeling multidimensionals, extraterrestrials, source energy, Archangel, Metatron, and I didn't think that I'm gonna have such amazing people supporting this channel. I am learning so much through these topics that I'm talking about in these videos, and I feel like I am healing a lot as well emotionally. And if I can help only one person from those that are watching these videos, that was already worth this effort and making these videos. So it's a win-win, and I am extremely grateful for everything. And it's so wonderful that more and more of us are getting clarity about our mission in this lifetime, why we are here exactly at this time where this shift is happening. Think about it, we are providing guidance to those that don't know what is going on behind the scenes, that don't know what is behind the lies, the manipulation, the masking of the truth, the corruption, the facade that is being presented in the media, in the mainstream, through these big corporations. And we are providing with that knowledge by going upstream to those that have never questioned the official narrative. And that is not an easy mission because, as I said, we are going upstream. We are the ones that don't want to participate in this mass consciousness of this matrix that, after all, is just a simulation. But nothing would change without us. And as I was saying about scapegoats, the fact that we did experience those childhood traumas and our needs were not met by the people that were supposed to love us because they couldn't give us what they haven't received either from their caretakers. And that has been probably a big burden for many of us all our lives. And it affected our relationships with others. It gave us this feeling of not being loved, lack of safety, lack of belonging to this world, and the feeling that we are not being understood by this society. We cannot express who we truly are because if we do that, we're not going to be accepted. We're not going to be loved. We're going to be rejected. And many of us, because of that, even forgot who we were. We forgot because we needed to deal with that lack of safety. We needed to feel like we belong. So we put up a facade, and that masking of our own truth, and that dishonesty with ourselves and betrayal of ourselves got us into hitting rock bottom. But what is good about rock bottoms is that there's only one way, and the way is up. So that rock bottom actually helped us to awaken again to our true selves, to ask questions, to have that curiosity to find out the truth of what is going on behind the scenes. What is the whole purpose of all this? Why we are here? What is our mission? And even though it's a bumpy road, it is totally worth it because we are paving the way to the next generations, to those children that are being born right now and will be born in the future. And those souls are very evolved, very in tune with what they are. So they are the new generation, and it's absolutely beautiful. We are not here to be part of a totalitarian order and to be part of a matrix that hasn't been working. We are here to change the course of the events, the future of this planet. And I would say that the fate of humanity is this awakening and this transcendence. Let's not call it ascension, let's call it transcendence. We are having extraterrestrial genes and DNAs. So we have been bred by these multidimensionals because our fate, humanity's fate, is to help Gaia with ascending and transcending into the fourth density consciousness or fifth dimension. They are essentially the same thing. So we are carrying those multi-dimensional DNAs. We are co-creators. We do have the power to flip the coin. And this is what I have been told by the Galactic Federation and the Pleiadians as well many times, that we do have the power to flip the coin. And that totalitarian order that has been ruling Earth for so many thousands of years is ending right now. We are at crossroads. I keep saying that. So there has never been a better time to honor our mission, to honor our traumas, our personalities, our genetic imprint, everything that we have brought with us from previous lifetimes, to be worked on in this lifetime, because those very things that were causing us the biggest discomfort are actually helping us in the best possible way with completing this mission. And it's time to honor those things and to see things from a higher perspective. If you want to learn more about that and you haven't watched my video called Scapegoats and Blacksheeps and the channeling of Archangel Metatron, then I suggest you to watch that video to have a broader understanding of what I'm talking about. And these days I have been doing a lot of inner child work, a lot of healing of my inner child, like childhood trauma, and digging deeper into that. And the more I learn about myself, the more I realize that behind my fears, what actually is hiding is shame. And behind every single childhood trauma is the feeling of shame for not being able to live up to our own standards that we have set for ourselves, be it conscious standards or subconscious standards, because we have both. And we are holding ourselves accountable for things that we haven't been provided when we were children, for not being accepted, for not being good enough, for not belonging, for not being loved. And we are the ones that we think that can solve all those problems. So we have created very high standards for ourselves. And if we fail with living up to those standards that are built on external validation, we feel like we have failed in life. And that comes with this deep feeling of shame. So in order to integrate those shattered aspects that we have dissociated ourselves from, and in order to integrate the inner child as well, I don't want to use the word healing, because healing entails that there's something wrong with us and we need to change and we are not adequate. So in order to integrate those aspects, we do have to let go of the shame that is being trapped in our emotional body. And these are the times where we are being presented in a very intense way with situations where that inner child and that wounding is being triggered. It's screaming for us to pay attention to it, because if we don't deal with those things, then we cannot expect the world either to heal. Our healing or our integration is the integration of the whole world. And this world, this society, is being led by those people that have experienced childhood trauma, that are wounded children walking around this globe, seeking for external validation and thinking that their worth is being measured by the amount of money, by the assets they own, or by how many people they can control. Because on higher levels, and I'm talking about the top leaders, where money is no longer a goal, control is a goal, but it is just a tool for validation. The biggest leaders and the most apparently successful people are the most wounded ones, or the most wounded children. So that's why the GFL was saying in the previous channeling that our healing is the healing of the world. Speaking about world leaders, false leaders, I wanted to talk about a particular company and to bring up this subject because it is very related to whatever is going on right now. And in order to connect the dots, we do have to understand how our society works. And I do believe, and I always say that we do have to have a down-to-earth approach when it comes to our spirituality, and to work with the lower chakras as well, and the integration of those lower chakras that will give us an overview that is not distorted about what is going on behind the scenes. Because if we work only with the higher chakras without the lower chakras being integrated, then we can have this very distorted, very floaty approach when it comes to our spiritual principles. And we can fall into the trap of thinking that we're going to just transition from the 3D to the 5D and everything is going to be just love and light, no suffering, which is true because our collective consciousness level is going to be elevated. But it cannot be elevated if we did not integrate both the light and darkness into our existence, and we did not understand that both are equally important. And the rejection of the darkness is going to just enforce darkness. So we do have to integrate both light and darkness and to embrace both aspects. This is what the Ascended Masters did. They mastered all dimensions, by integrating both light and darkness into their existence and seeing the importance of them both. Okay, so speaking about this down-to-earth approach and connecting the dots, I want to talk about a particular company that probably not many of you have heard about. I haven't heard about that company either before, but actually that company is ruling the world and owning everything in the whole planet. And that is absolutely crazy. But in order to understand how this central power works and the different branches of that central power, then I thought I'm gonna talk about this in today's video, because knowing about this whole network of information and what is behind the world's economy and how this works can help us to be more conscious about where we are investing our money and how we are contributing to this company to rule the world and for companies that are similar to this company. So I will be talking about BlackRock a little bit, and if you're not curious about this part, you can skip it. I will provide with the timestamps in the description box below. I wrote a few notes about this company, which I'm going to be sharing with you. Okay, so BlackRock owns $9 trillion worth of assets. It is the largest asset management firm on the whole world, and they are actually one of the largest shareholders in the 7 biggest banks in the world: JP Morgan, Bank of America, Wells Fargo, Citigroup, US Bancorp, Truist Financial Corporation, PNC Financial Services Group. So these are the 7 biggest banks in the whole world, and they have shares in those companies. Many of the largest insurance companies are either owned or invest with BlackRock funds. Almost all the pension fund companies are being invested with BlackRock as well, or they have connections with other companies that are being invested with BlackRock. They are also one of the biggest shareholders of Goldman Sachs, and Goldman Sachs is the company that was responsible for the 2008 financial crisis. And then guess what? Goldman Sachs owns Vox, the media company, so therefore BlackRock owns a very big part of Vox as well. They also own a part of JP Morgan, and then JP Morgan owns a part of them as well. So they have this circular ownership, which is actually illegal in some countries, and that means that they own themselves. BlackRock also owns a huge portion of Coca-Cola. And of course, it owns a huge portion of its competitor PepsiCo as well. And then also guess what? It owns a big portion of the biggest media outlets. For example, Fox News, New York Times, CNN, ABC, NBC, New York Post, Sky News, The Sun, and so on, so on. So it doesn't really matter which side of the coin you are politically or from any point of view, you have one central power that owns everything. So the information is going to come out based on that. So it owns a part of every media organization or news outlet on the planet, and social media platforms as well, like Facebook, Twitter, WhatsApp, and Instagram. It is actually their biggest shareholder. So when I was talking about Facebook in my last video, then connecting the dots, you do understand why I don't believe that whistleblower is an actual whistleblower, because so many of these media outlets are being involved in presenting this information. Why would they work against each other when the central power is the same? It also owns 4 of the 6 media companies that control more than 90% of the US media landscape. And these are Time Warner, Comcast, Disney, and News Corp. So it's not hard for BlackRock to get any message being spread across the globe when owning all these companies, right? BlackRock is also the largest investor in fossil fuels on the planet and funds deforestation of the Amazon and other parts of the world, because they really don't care about the future of this planet. They only care about profit and control. And while 25,000 people die every single day across the globe because of hunger or diseases related to hunger, which we are so desensitized of that we are not even talking about any longer, then one single company is owning everything in the whole world and owning a big percentage of the assets of the world. Why I'm talking about that? I'm talking about this not because I want to get into economics or politics or anything like that. These are definitely not my expertise, but just for us to understand that we are the ones that are funding these companies without even knowing about what we are contributing to, without even hearing ever about these companies that are in the background. But what is great about it is that we are the ones that can change the course of the events and co-create a different future. We are the ones that are making these companies, these organizations to have power, or the illusion of power. So you understand that an event that would serve as a catalyst for a mass awakening, like a solar flare, that would cause like blackouts, would be the end of this central power, because these big corporations are owning the world, the media outlets are owning the world, no longer the church as it used to be. It is media, it is big tech, it is big pharma. And without electricity, for example, they would lose complete control over this planet. Their biggest fear is that we will get to a timeline where this ascension and transcendence happens. So they are trying their best to prevent us from getting to that timeline. And you know what's funny is that while I was doing my research about BlackRock, by the way, if you want to learn more about them, there are some amazing videos on YouTube about BlackRock. So while I was doing my research, I started to feel so dizzy and very sick in my stomach. There was like a very heavy and very dense energy about this whole situation, like almost something trying to prevent me from delivering this information or to get into that information. And actually, I pulled a few oracle cards related to the energy, which I'm going to share with you after I share the message from the Galactic Federation. And there's definitely an intervention and the desperation of these negative entities, dark forces, that is happening. Because at the beginning of the message that I received yesterday from the GFL, they were talking about my communication with them being interfered with, and they have never ever told me anything like that before. So it's the first time. So there is definitely an intervention that they are trying to do, these dark forces. So I didn't fully understand what they were trying to say, but I will read it for you. Yeah, let's get into the message. So this channeled message is from the 10th of October 2021 from the Galactic Federation of Light. And they said, "We are communicating with static communication, and we are ensuring the communication to be organized and structured between the dimensions. You are deflecting the anomalies that are being produced through such surge, and the outcome of the communication might not be bilateral. The assurance of such communication is approached to a degree where the information can flow slowly and effortlessly. We are the Galactic Federation, and the communication here is being assured to be a telepathic one, and the degree which we are being separated from your third-dimensional reality is being accentuated. Across your globe, there are beings that are not aligned with the energy of love light. Therefore, the information might be presented in a disturbed way throughout the energy manipulation. Please be assured that whatever comes through is being supported by the highest sources of the multidimensional field and the consciousness level of unconditional love. You are the species that which we are enabling the directive of the centralization of the heart to be actualized, and through which process you can arrive to your own true selves and spiritual identity. You are the light presenting itself in human form, and that is something we would like to reinforce now in all of you through this communication. So take this as a confirmation of the present structures being liberated from the old conditioning, that which results in new structures being born that are the result of the new frequency. As you are setting aside the communication of the time-space complex matrix, you are gaining overview of your own missions. So we are asking you to focus on this mission and focus less on the third-dimensional energetic frequency and grid. This is the part of your evolution that is being completed as you are being integrated within yourselves and within the spiritual mission of your own genetic imprint and frequency. This frequency allows you all to implement the original mission of your souls that is in this incarnation. Many of your species have come to be altered in their genetic imprint that is serving this mission in the most optimal way. So your imprints at your moment of birth, which your natal astrological charts are reflecting perfectly, are part of the spiritual mission that you will be fulfilling at this time. Those charts are the indicators and the maps to your journey on Earth. Certain things you have completed when arriving to this physical form, but others are still to be acknowledged, achieved, and completed as the astrological moves of the timeline that you were born into are unfolding. You are having this mission as the main purpose of your existence, that is the expansion of the soul, through spreading love and light, while getting closer to your own selves, that is love in itself. Please be clear about this frequency that is within all of you, and instead of belittling your very significant missions here, see your purpose as a grand participation in the awakening of humankind. We are approaching together a timeline that is within the alignment of the true magnificent energetic self, and that self-expression will be soon actualized through the long-lasting changes that are currently occurring. Yourselves, your true identities, will no longer be suppressed, but they will be celebrated. However, please note that for the actualization to take place sooner than the actual evolution might dictate the course, you are having the opportunity to shift to this reality of the celebrated self, of the nature of the infinite creation. Please celebrate your divine selves through the existence of God within you all. Please see yourselves as one with the Creator, and you shall experience sooner, in your human terms, the actualization of your missions. This is all we can say for now, and we are encouraging all of you to follow our advice of seeing yourselves as gods. We are leaving you in the infinite love and light of the one Creator. So that was today's message from the Galactic Federation of Light, and what they are encouraging us to do is to see ourselves as gods. And in my previous video, I pulled the card Co-Creator, and I talked about this in today's video as well. We have to see ourselves powerful, limitless, multidimensional, and co-creators that are having the power to turn things around. That central power that I was talking about has no power whatsoever, only the illusion of power without us. We are giving the central power. We are the ones that can take our power back by knowing that we are gods, by knowing that we are parts of the Creator. We are feeding energetically that central power, and money that is giving them the illusion of being in control and having power is just a physical manifestation of the energy that we are feeding them with. They are nothing without us, they are nothing without our energy. And how we can control that energy flow, we can do it by paying attention to where we are consuming our time, which media platforms we are giving our power away to, which social media platforms we are using, which businesses we are supporting. And I know that there's a positive side of social media as well, because I couldn't be communicating with you without YouTube. I couldn't be delivering these messages from GFL either without it. However, we need to know that the power is in our hands, and that is very important because this is how we create a new reality, a new future. And they are also saying that as we are setting aside the communication of this time-space complex, of this matrix, we are gaining more overview of our mission. So we do have to set aside some time for ourselves, for connecting with nature, for meditation, because this is where we can communicate to our higher selves, to our inner selves that will guide us. They were talking about our genetic imprint being manipulated, and that genetic imprint is actually helping us to fulfill our mission in the best possible way. It is what I was saying at the beginning of the video, that whatever traumas, whatever baggage we came into this incarnation, we came with those things with a purpose. They are helping us to fulfill our mission in the best possible way. Okay, so before I finish this recording, let me show you a few oracle cards that I pulled about this company that is ruling the whole world. And I pulled in reverse 2 cards. One of them is the Eagle King, the big picture, angelic help, in reverse. And the Prism Wave, self-sabotage, poverty consciousness. So both cards in reverse. And the Prism Wave is the card of, in this reverse position, the card of poverty consciousness, the consciousness of lack, that feeling of never having enough. And this is what they are attempting to keep us in, that poverty consciousness. And the fact that they are ruling all the media outlets, all the information, all the banking systems, pension funds, insurance companies, everything that is related to information flow, money, economy, they are having control over the information that you are receiving. Therefore, they can manipulate your reality. They can convince you to be in a particular reality that they can benefit the most from. They want you to be in fear, in this self-sabotage, and in this poverty consciousness, thinking that you don't have power whatsoever and you will never have enough. And that is what this card is talking about. And then we have the Eagle King, which is the big picture angelic help, meaning that they are trying to prevent you also from seeing the big picture, from seeing behind this matrix or being above this third dimensional matrix. Also trying us to prevent from receiving angelic help and to prevent our communication with the angelic realm, with light beings and interdimensional beings that can help us in our evolution. Yeah, we knew that, but this is just a little confirmation. Oh yeah, and then this card for me also talks about their crime committed against indigenous people throughout the history, and then also their abuse of nature and not taking in consideration the benefit of the planet, but only focusing on profit. Of course, we knew that. And then I was asking, what can we do in order to change all that, to get out of this poverty consciousness and this matrix that they are creating for us, this reality, this false reality. And then I pulled another card from another deck, which is making a choice. And this is that card of that crossroads that humanity has arrived to, that the GFL and the Pleiadians were talking about as well, that we can either choose to continue on a particular timeline or to choose a completely new reality. And it's up to our free will which direction we want to go. We are being required to make a decision now, and that decision is based on our conscious choice, our intuition and spirit helping us with that decision. And then I was asking about the outcome of this timeline and of our choice yesterday. And I pulled the transformation card. That's such a beautiful card. That's one of my favorite ones. And I pulled also the abundance card. So the outcome is assured. So they can do their best to try to keep us in that self-sabotage, lack consciousness, and poverty consciousness. But the abundance is assured. The abundance that this new earth is all about. The knowing that we have a lot of power, that we can create anything, is assured. And the transformation is happening. No matter how hard they are trying to prevent us from this transformation, it is happening, and it's happening on a very fast pace, faster than we can imagine. So maybe we will arrive home to ourselves sooner than we can imagine, as I got this information from in my October channeling about the energies of October. So guys, that was today's message and today's oracle card reading. I really hope that this could help. And if the message has resonated, then feel free to subscribe to my channel. Also, don't forget to hit the notification bell, because I'm uploading videos every week, so you don't miss out on these uploads. And also, if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you didn't, give it a thumbs down. They are both helping the algorithm. And thank you so much for being here. I do appreciate you as always. Thank you so much for supporting me. It means a lot. So take care of yourselves, and I cannot wait to see you in my next video. Kisses to you all.